Welcome to the briefing. Today we're going to give a high-level presentation of what exactly are panic and anxiety, because they are crippling people. More than ever, panic attacks and anxiety attacks are really challenging the world today because, for a very important reason that needs to be understood, panic and anxiety attacks have exactly everything to do with mastering false negative beliefs. And that is the big challenge for the world today here on planet Earth, where we're having a lot of growing pains, shall we say. It is a challenging time. We're at the end of the old world, the beginning of the new world, if you have the beliefs to support the new world. If you only think that the world is ending, sadly, that is what you will experience. Because, as I like to say, the universe loves you in two ways. Yes, the living, loving universe really does love you, and it loves you in two ways. One, it will give you everything you need to have the most wonderful, thriving life forever, because that is the purpose of existence, to provide your contribution of your viewpoint on how wonderful life is. So eternal life will help eternal life to have eternal life and have fun forever. The second way that the universe will love you is that if you are holding negative beliefs about the world, about yourself, these false narratives, these ideas of how life is bad, it doesn't work, and so on, the universe will supply those experiences too. But first and foremost, the universe always has guidance and love and support and comfort and wisdom and creativity and everything you need to have the most wonderful life. And secondarily, you will, if you insist, have terrible experiences, and that's what people are having. They are experiences, they are real experiences, but they are based on a time and space narrative of Earth, of physical life, which isn't exactly true. Life is, I like to say, the physical world is empty containers. What matters is the energy that you bring to a situation. And you know this, people go to a party, they have wildly different experiences. Somebody who has had a broken heart and they're going to stay in that for a while, they're miserable in a corner. Somebody else who's determined to have fun, they meet great people, they dance, they have a great time. Other people, conversations, contacts, networking, everything can be experienced in the physical world, depending on what you bring to it. And what you bring to it is your life story. That is your consciousness. Consciousness is defined by where you're coming from and where you're going to, your narrative. And your narrative is composed of beliefs. Beliefs, assumptions, expectations, interpretations, your worldview, your explanation for how the world works, whatever you want to call it. Belief systems is a popular term for it. It's basically, you cannot have an experience of life without some kind of narrative, some kind of story of who you are, what's going on, what you're trying to do. If you have no narrative at all, then you're unconscious and you're having no experience. So look, the world, the physical world is extremely, extremely flexible, totally flexible. You can experience totally negative experiences or totally positive experiences for the same situation. Depends on what you bring to it. You ask, how can I possibly have a good experience from something horrible, something awful, something like a Holocaust, like a fascist government, like dictatorships, like a lot of what people are turning to these days at the end of the old world, where yes, pollution, war, disease, poverty, and so on, real crises in the world today, which could be solved, except people are going back to their abused childhoods and thinking that some strongman dictator is going to take care of them. No, what needs to happen is you go back to your childhood and you realize those people who abused me, maybe I survived, but not a lot of thanks to them. You have survived, but you have not thrived like you can. People don't even know how good life can be. I'm glimpsing it. This is my passion. This is my purpose. Every one of you out there has your passion, your purpose, your way to have the best time forever in the fabulous living, loving universe. Your contribution, what you bring to the party. And not everybody wants what you have to bring. So that's why you need to be guided by your side of the universe, by your part of the living, loving universe. You need to be guided to the right places for you to thrive. The people, the places that give you the opportunities to really shine, to get to be who you really are. What you love to do and be rewarded for it. Be well recompensed. Absolutely. This is what all the fabulous, successful people in history do, the really positive ones. The negative ones, they steal, they hurt, they dominate, control, all that. But the positive ones, you see the shining examples in human history and human civilization. The human story is not all negative. There's a ton of positive stories there. And they have to do with people having an amazing, unique vision. And even if everybody says no, if everybody makes fun of them, if nobody says they can succeed, they're like, I'm going to succeed because I know it. How do they know it? You can know that you succeed because you are tapping into your own future, your own higher self. You see, all time is simultaneous. This is one of the big things that we need to get over. The old world that kept us fighting each other for control and domination. If you're mean, if you're really far into the negative, you're a really mean person, you just kill people who are in your way. If you're nice, you try to work with them, you try to convince them, you try to argue, but it doesn't work. You see, this is really an interesting point. There are certain proofs, evidences of how life really works baked into the system. If it was true that everybody lived in just one reality and we had to all get along, then a fair and just society with good laws, tolerating diversity, helping people to be creative and well supplied to live the life that they're meant to live, to pursue their happiness, that would be a society that works. Everybody would agree on it. But no, for some reason, people keep rebelling. No matter how good the system is, they keep rebelling. They have some paranoid sense of like, you're telling me what to do, and I have to decide what I want to do. Even if what they decide is really against their interest. Voting for dictators. Going back, as I said, to the childhood abuse where they were taught, they learned falsely that some violent, abusive caretaker had their best interests in mind. No, maybe they survived. Maybe as children, you give your power to your caretakers and hope for the best. Well, people survive, but they didn't thrive. And as I said, they are damaged and they buy into the false negative belief system. So this is what we're mastering on Earth today. Because yes, there are places in the universe that are completely positive and wonderful. But people don't necessarily know, beings, people, whatever you want to call them, the beings in totally positive worlds don't necessarily know where their boundaries are. I mean, if everything's wonderful and good, who cares? Who knows? What are you doing? What am I doing? What's going on? Who knows? I'm just having a great time. But when you have to be the one who decides what should happen, what would be good, and you have to work against some resistance, and you have to define, you have to stand up for yourself, you start realizing who you really are, what you're really made of, what you really care about. If you have to have, you don't have to struggle, it doesn't have to be a suffering, but some amount of resistance, some amount of you have to stand up for yourself. That is how you learn who you really are and what you're going to bring out of your core for the rest of eternity. Because yes, you have a way of thriving that you really love and enjoy. And all the best peak moments in your life are evidences, suggestions of what you have in store, of who you really are. So time and space, they are narratives that we create in our mind. Actually, everything is simultaneous. Everything is already there. So the whole idea of, you got to build something good. No, you don't have to build it. You have to figure out how you can function that way. Function to be from the world, belong in the world that you want to be a part of. And if there's something in your life that's not good for you, and God knows there's a lot of stuff that's not good for us in the world today. For any of us and for each individually, you find what's not right for you. The way you gently let go of that stuff is you find the parts in yourself that hooked into that. How was I buying into that? How was I adapting to it? How was I reacting to it in ways that perpetuated it? Self-fulfilling prophecies. A lot of people can be their own worst enemy. You've seen it when you sabotage yourself. These are hints that truly you are running your own life, your own reality. Like I said, if it was the case that there was only one reality, then people would just devise a fair system and people would be happy with that. But no, people keep rebelling because no matter how good the society is, no matter how fair you are, if you are deciding for someone else, it's a form of domination. People need to have absolute free will. Absolute free will. That sounds pretty scary, doesn't it? Well, it is if you don't work with the universe. If you adhere to this idea that there's only one world, one reality, and we all got to fight over it, then yeah, absolute free will is absolutely intolerable. People are going to do crazy, horrible things. And all it takes is one person with one bomb to kill a whole bunch of people, to destroy the world. That's all. You can't live that way. You cannot live that way. And that is the source of a lot of panic and a lot of anxiety. Knowing that something is wrong with the world, the system, and somehow you need a world that supports you, and you don't know where the people are who want the same world as you do, and you know that there are people who do not want the same world that you do. There are people who want to kill someone like you. And you don't have to get in their crosshairs. You don't have to let them find out. You don't have to stand out. You don't have to be a martyr. You don't have to protest for justice in a way that puts you in the crosshairs and the targets of people who are highly intolerant and want to kill somebody like you. But yeah, there are people who absolutely do not want you around. And you know what? You don't want them around either. There are too darn many spiritual people in the world today who are still fundamentally buying into this one world fallacy, this one reality idea that is false. No matter how spiritual people are, if you think that you somehow have to convince other people to adhere to some peaceful, wonderful, tolerant society, why wouldn't you want that? I don't know why they don't want it, but some people don't want it. Some people want to create a hell. Going back to the Bible from my Christian tradition, God gave Lucifer his own domain because Lucifer, some kind of fallen angel, I wouldn't say he was an angel at all. Angels don't incarnate. Angels are always on the side of good, pure emanations of the divine. But some kind of fallen being was Lucifer. He wanted to be his own God, his own king, and God set him up in his own world. And then a third of the beings of heaven went to be with him. Gluttons for punishment, right? Well, thirds can be important psychologically. But anyway, the idea that truly it is a fact of the universe. You see, every consciousness, you are a consciousness. You have your own experience, right? You can argue with people over facts, but you can't argue about people's experience. If somebody's experiencing something, hey, they're experiencing it. What can you do about it? That's the fundamental source of everyone has their own universe. Everyone is their own universe, experiencing their own universe. Because you are a consciousness, you have your way of experiencing everything. And that means sooner or later, and sooner or later is now, because all time is simultaneous, the eternity is now. You are experiencing in a chronology, in a timeline, in a story narrative of your life journey and your choices and their consequences. You are experiencing time, but it's all here now. So we need to map this out here. Because this is the source of panic and anxiety, which are highly emblematic, symptomatic, epidemic at this time in history when every being, every consciousness, every person needs to realize they are creating their own reality. If they don't realize it, they're going to give their power away to people who will abuse them. It's just not going to work. It's not going to sit to create. You can create the most fair, lawful, wonderful, just societies, and still people are going to rebel because deep down they know their consciousness deserves its own creation, its own reality. God will give you, has given you your own version of the entire universe. So let's draw some diagram here. Here's the source. Is that at the top of the screen there? Yep. Okay, that's the source. Okay, that's the living, loving universe, this background, this giant circle, this sort of sun shining on everything. And then we've got a reality. Now the source, everything is beautiful there. Like I said, the first and foremost way that the source loves you is that it wants to take care of you. It wants you to thrive, just like you would like every organ in your body to thrive. Do you wish any part of you to be ill and sick, affecting the whole experience of being in your body? No. The universe wants you to thrive, so it gives you everything you need to thrive. So this source, it's unified, it wants to love you, it will give you everything you need. And then you find yourself in a reality. And the reality is coming from your belief systems, which cause you to function in certain ways, experience and expect certain things, and you will connect with other people who are in the same space as you. It's all simultaneous. We don't actually converse. We're thinking the same things at the same time. We're making mouth movements. to justify the fact that we're actually reading our minds, we're reading our own minds, and the other people are thinking the same thing at the same time. It's all simultaneity. So, what's really happening is, here's the reality, blank slate, right? But right away, this reality is divided down in the middle. About half of the reality is going to be good for you, what you would like more of, more you. And about the other half of the reality is going to be things that aren't what you like, aren't good for you, are less you. And you want to become more you. That's the happiness. And when you become less you, you experience fear, pain, hurt, anger, all that stuff, negative emotions. But negative emotions are actually positive if you know how to use them, if what they indicate. So you can fix the belief choices underneath that generate the negative emotions. So, right away, we've got a problem where in the one world fallacy, people think there's only one reality and they want to make it all their way. And so this is the cause of there are two kinds of judgment. Judgment, it's having an opinion about something. The positive judgment is where you decide something that's good for you. And you go on this positive side. So let's just put a big plus sign on this side. This is positive, this is negative. So when you decide, this is good for me, I like it. I thought I would like it, I tried it, I did like it, my emotions are positive, leads to more wonderful, exciting life experiences, it's good for me. Now, if you just hold that opinion in your own positive way, I'm just going to focus on what I love in life, I'm going to get deeper into it, and hey, live and let live, let other people figure out what's good for them. And I'm going to believe in absolute free will. Even if my human society can't keep me safe in a world of absolute free will, God will keep me safe. The people who are dangerous and incompatible with me, they will not be in my reality. They will go somewhere else. Lucifer will go to his own hell, and anybody who wants to go there can follow. They're not going to be in my reality. This is how it works. There are multiple worlds. It's a multiverse. There are an infinite number of worlds, and they don't all interact based on how much compatibility they have. Negative judgments. That's what we see a lot of in the world. That's when somebody decides, I like this, okay, an opinion of something I like, and it's the only right thing. Anybody who doesn't do it is wrong. I got to kill them. I got to convince them. I got something. And these people, you see highly judgmental people. This is the judgmentalism, okay? Negative judging. Not just that they have an opinion of something they like, but everybody's got to like it or else you're wrong, you're bad, they're going to attack you in some way. And these judgmental people, they're walking on eggshells. You see it. They drive themselves crazy. They end up sabotaging themselves, getting into some crazy scandal. Why? Why can't you just... Because the negative judgments are not how life works. It will infect you. It will destroy you. It will fill you with panic and anxiety. It may start with, okay, other people shouldn't do the things I don't like, but then you change over time. People are trying to hold to something they did years ago. They've changed. They themselves can't even live with themselves. They're judging themselves. Oh, I didn't do what I should have done in this situation, so on, so on, so on. So right away, there are two realities. And this is just the beginning. This is the beginning of the multiverse. But this is where it starts, that you need to let the physical reality be a kind of shopping mall world, I like to call it, a Grand Central Station, because people are sharing forms that can have different content. It kind of forces a lot of people together who wouldn't otherwise meet. If you only met people who had the same energy, the same values as you, the same content, energy content, then you wouldn't meet some of the people that you could meet in the physical world who are on that negative side. They don't have your energy. They don't have your values. They don't have your interests in mind. They may be tolerant if they're positive judgmental, positive judging, live and let live, but if they're going to be highly intolerant if they're negative judgmental, their opinion plus punishments, you're wrong and bad if you don't do what I do. So you got to let there be right away two worlds. And this means right away, you're going to see a lot of people who on the negative side, this is where the false belief systems are. False beliefs. Negative false beliefs. Negative means it makes you feel bad. False, it's not how life works. You're trying to make it work, it's not going to work. And a belief because it's your narrative, it's your idea of how things, what things mean, how things work, what to expect. Without a belief, you have no experience. And on the positive side, you have all these wonderful positive beliefs. What are some examples? Positive beliefs: the universe loves you, there's guidance for you, you are meant to be who you are, you have talents, you have gifts, there are people who love you, who you will love, there are places you belong to thrive, you can get there, you can live happy ever after. Negative beliefs: you're wrong, you're bad, you're a loser, you had one chance, you made a mistake, you blew it. You, maybe if you work really hard, if you obey, if you serve, if you fight wars or whatever, someday you'll get to a better world. No, forget it. Forget it. All on the negative side, it's full of ugly lies and pretty lies. And the positive side is just the truth. And the great thing about the truth is it sets you free. It connects you. It's a hotline, a pipeline to the real universe. So it's still a belief system. You're still in a reality of empty containers, but the energy fits beautifully in the positive beliefs, and it connects you to the living, loving universe. So you don't mind that you're in a kind of illusion simulation. It's working really well. It's like a movie that you're having a great time in, and you lose yourself in the movie, and it's fine. It's when the lights come up and the movie's over. Oh, I knew it was a movie, but I was so absorbed in it. It was a great movie. But if the movie is hell, if it's a hellish experience, you're like, oh my God, what are they doing to me? And like maybe you realize it's a movie and you walk out and you tell your friends, hey, any of you want to stay? I'm not staying. I'm standing up for myself. Or what happens is a lot of people have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and CPTSD complex. Basically, you are re-triggered, you are re-traumatized, so that even if you know you could and should leave this situation, you can't. You're paralyzed in panic and anxiety. So we're going to get into exactly where those come from. So you got the idea here? See, what happens is it's very interesting. You can live this way. It's okay. You're not going to be stuck forever with half the world being negative people who aren't compatible with you. Because what happens is the negative beliefs, they're very segregating. They focus you on getting rid of the bad stuff, getting rid of the bad guys. Someday life will be good if you just get rid of all the bad stuff. Whenever you or somebody is hyper-focused, hyper-vigilant on what to get rid of, what's out to get you, how to please them, how to dominate them, how to manipulate them, you're in negative beliefs, because that's not how the universe really works. It may be how society temporarily works. It's a real experience you can stage and you can play with other people who believe the same way, but it's not how the universe really works forever. On the positive side, growth is inclusive. See, what's really interesting is positive beliefs include an awareness of negativity. Positive beliefs are highly tolerant. That live and let live approach. I know that even if there are people who don't share my values, I can love them at the right distance. That's what my soul likes to say. Carl, you can love anybody from the right distance, meaning safety. You need safety. You need the safety of where you can belong to thrive. And then, you can allow other people to exist in the multiverse. You got to understand how to get the distance, the healthy distance. Positive beliefs will tell you, and therefore positive beliefs are aware of the negativity. Negativity, no, it's blind to positive. It says only focus on fantasies. The pretty lies, I said there are two kinds of lies. The pretty lies are the ones that tempt you, suck you in. So first, the negative beliefs will traumatize you with the ugly lies that, oh, the world is terrible. There's no God. You're a jerk, so on and so on. And then you're traumatized, especially if you've been through some trauma already. You re-stimulated. So then you're sucked into the negative beliefs. You're believing them. Yeah, the world's a bad place. What do I do? Negative beliefs. And then they'll tell you the pretty lies. Oh, yes, it's a bad place, but if you fight the wars and you get rid of all the bad guys, someday there will be peace. If you work really, really hard, you'll build up a savings, you'll be rich, and then someday you can retire and be happy. If you impress enough people, you'll have friends. If you do enough, all this not now. You're not happy now, but someday you'll be happy. Someday it'll pay off. Well, someday never happens because it's all happening now. If you are not experiencing something that works now, it will never work. On the positive side, it feels good right away. You got things that work right away, and they keep working, they keep growing. That's why the positive world, you're always good enough. You start from where you are. Your emotions will clue you in, whether they're happy emotions or unhappy emotions, they'll clue you into what's going on. You have the consciousness, you have the free will, you have the authority, the sovereignty to change, make changes in what you believe, who you hang out with, let go of places that aren't right for you, go to places that are right for you. Positive includes the negative. Negative is always dividing and conquering, smaller and smaller, more and more enemies. You see, like, it ends badly for, like, the negativity selects for fascist dictators. That's the kind of person who wins in a negative world. People who have no feelings, no empathy, people are just objects. They're just out to manipulate and control and dominate, and it ends badly for them. All the dictators in history, they end up paranoid. They're against everybody. Everybody's against them. They get killed. And yet it keeps coming up because the negative beliefs, they suck you in with the pretty lies. So let's get into it here. This is anxiety and panic. Anxiety is where the false belief systems, they say, yeah, your life is so bad, but someday if you work really hard, if you please people, if you get rid of the bad guys, if you do this, if you do that, never mind how unfair it is, you got to do it. Then you're going to someday get a payoff. When you buy into that kind of stuff, when you buy into temptations, flattery, pretty lies, you're going to become increasingly obsessed and compulsive. It's busy work. It's not going to feel good. And yet, so your heart, your body is telling you this doesn't feel good. But your brain is saying, oh, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off. Keep going. We got to put in our hours. We got to put in our time. We got to put in our service. It's going to pay off. That's an anxiety-based lifestyle. You're going to feel anxiety. Anxiety is a kind of mental illness in which you're in conflict with yourself and it feels bad, and yet you keep thinking you need to do it because someday it's going to pay off. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. That's the way to get out of the negative beliefs, to realize point blank, to look at it, and it's been promising me something that I would never get. War never leads to peace. I'm a miserable person working endlessly for more money. I'm never secure. I'm never happy. All this kind of stuff. When you realize, when you see clearly the kind of false belief systems that you were buying into, and it's never going to work, it only made you miserable, you will drop it automatically because you are built for heaven. You are a creature who belongs on this side connected with the source. So you will drop negative beliefs when you see them clearly enough. But until you see them clearly enough, you're going to have this anxiety-based lifestyle where you're escapist, you're hiding, you're looking to numb your pain. And this is how people get addicted. Addicted to substances, addicted to workaholism, addicted to violence, addicted to whatever. Compulsive, addictive, and they destroy themselves obsessively trying to make something work that will never work. And then say someday you have, because life is always a mix, remember, life is always a mix. So all the time that you're having miserable experiences and, following addictions and whatever, there are also good things happening in your life. So once in a while, people have these spiritual, mystical experiences like, oh my God, life can be so good. And you get a glimpse. You get a glimpse of how good life can be. Okay? And then you start thinking, oh, I want to go over to this side. Forget it. Forget the stuff that never worked for me. I want to go live a real life. I have dreams. I have, my talents, my dreams, my passions, indications since childhood, the synchronicities, the magic of life. I'm getting guided. It wakes me up. You get excited. You start wanting to go over to this side. Positive beliefs. And that's when the panic hits. So the red arrow, this is panic. And panic is coming from the false beliefs. They don't want you to leave. Don't leave our suffering lifestyle. We tried to tell you how great it will be someday and you're not buying it. You're sick of it. You're sick and tired of it. Well, don't leave. You're going to die. This is where you get some idea of what you stand for, what you would love to do, and suddenly, like, everybody's against you. Your friends, your family, everybody's making fun of you. They care about you. Oh, yeah, we're so afraid that you're going to die. You can never be an artist. You can never, we're all bankers and lawyers. You can't be an artist. Or maybe we're all artists and musicians. You can't be a banker or a lawyer. It's like whatever. It's like people invalidate you. You can get persecution complexes because things seem against you. There's an initial resistance and your own resistance. You can be scared of what you're trying to do. And it can feel like, let me draw it in here. See, this was the anxiety. Anxiety going into trying to make a false lifestyle work. And the panic of trying to come out, where all the beliefs are telling you, and the people who are in with those beliefs telling you, no, don't go there, you're going to die, you can't, it won't work. And you get all these terrible thoughts that feel so real, it's so crippling, really crippling stuff, and you get into panic attacks where I can't even move, I'm terrorized. And this is why, and it's all based on lies. It's all based on lies. You absolutely do have a place you belong to thrive in the universe. And if something excites you, that's a hint of what you're meant to do. Go follow that. But first you have to deal with the side of false negative beliefs. So this is where, dictatorships, narcissists, bullies, they all depend on lies. They depend on the violence. They depend on the fear. This is all fear-based. But what if you make fear your friend? What if you master fear? Because fear, all your emotions, they have a positive use. Yes, fear stops you in your tracks. You're so afraid. But fear is like a big friend who's saying, like, stop, don't go any further. You can't function with a negative belief. You can't go any further. Figure out what's not true. Figure out you're so terrified of trying something, that's because you don't believe in yourself. You're going back to your parents or your friends who said you're a loser and you need to do what they do. No, it's false. It's false. Let go of the things that aren't true. You will get your life back and you will be able to chip away. You'll be able to claim back your identity because you're turning fear. You use fear. I mean, what traction are dictators going to have on you? They're trying to terrorize you. They're trying to build up a society of terrorism. So people are so panicked, they don't know what else to do except keep obeying and keep reacting to the dictator. Well, but what if you start using fear to your advantage? Hey, I'm so afraid something must be really, really false here. Oh, I see clearly. Oh, this person is not good for me. This person is saying lies. I don't have to go over here and be a victim. I can go over here and do something that's guided by the universe. I can tune into higher guidance. There's a living, loving universe behind all these pockets of drama and craziness. Yeah, you can transcend all of that. So when you get over here, so to be clear, false beliefs, you feel anxiety going into it, trying to make it work, with the pretty lies that say, oh, it's gonna be great, you're so wonderful, you're gonna win the lottery, you're gonna sell everything, do everything, it's gonna be great. And you're like, I don't know, I'm like really freaked out, I'm really nervous, like I guess I gotta work really hard. And at some point you realize, like, I can't live this way. And then the panic is when you say, to heck with this, I'm gonna go for something real, I'm gonna be my real self. It could be as simple as I used to get total panic attacks just to pay the bills, because paying the bills was part of my real life. Something with your real life over here, the negative beliefs don't want you to do that. They want you to stay in the fantasies and escape and avoid your real life. Do something dramatic like, I got to save the world. I got to, fight the conspiracies and all this. I can't do something as simple as like, just be myself, be nice to my neighbors, and, pay my bills and like figure out, take directions from the universe, take cues and guidance and opportunities to take care of myself. Oh no, I need to neglect myself and do dramatic stuff to save the world because I'll be a hero. A lot of heroism, a lot of like, delusions of grandeur, all that stuff. No, but when you leave that stuff, now on the positive side, okay, some different colors here. When you go into positive beliefs, what does that feel like? It feels like love, it feels like joy, it feels excitement, attraction. I'm really interested in this, I'm really curious. This I just really want to explore this. I feel really creative, I feel really inspired. That's what positive beliefs offer you when you go into positive beliefs. Really positive experiences. And when you try to leave positive beliefs, like I said, positive beliefs they're aware of other belief systems, and they positive beliefs, they still want you to think that they are the only thing that's true for you, but you don't mind it because it is true for you. That is what works for you. So positive beliefs, you feel support. So going into positive beliefs, being more of your real self, you will feel love, excitement, bliss, all the happiness, all the stuff, pursuit of happiness, all the spiritual teachers. Abraham Hicks talks about, find what makes you happy. Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss. Bashar, follow your excitement. Some form of more life energy. You're getting more alive. You're starting to feel this is what the universe is really about. How wonderful life is, and telling the universe, hey, from my point of view, how wonderful it is. Everybody's sharing their point of view. It's meant to be a party of connoisseurship. It's meant to be a universe where we all trade notes on how great things are and give each other more ideas what to try next. So you feel love going into positive beliefs, and to leave positive beliefs, you get support. You feel supported. You don't get the panic when you try to leave negative beliefs. They all you can't go out there. You're going to die. We're going to hate you. You're going to be the fool. You get support. Positive beliefs, they say, yeah, you can go try that. If you think there's something for you there, we know we're good for you, so you'll be back. We're not losing you. Positive beliefs let you explore. So what happens is, here's the big idea. You can let there be this division where about half of the world, the physical reality is not so good for you, and the other half is really good for you and you want to explore. You can let that be true, because then the positive side includes awareness of the negative side. So you have a positive experience of even negative things by learning more about how life works, learning more about yourself. Be your own best friend. Hey, human self. You have a spiritual self and a human self. Your spiritual self can talk to your human self. Hey, human being, you didn't like that? I didn't like it either. Let's be friends. Let's get ourselves out of here. Get to know yourself. Be your own best friend through thick and thin. So even a bad situation, you get to know yourself better. You figure out what's right for you. So the positive side has ways of making the best and having a positive learning experience even from the negative side. So this whole positive side, when you really choose it, it will expand. Now you get a whole new range of positive and negative. More you and less you. And you keep expanding that. Keep choosing the side that's you, and it will expand to be the whole range. So there'll always be a side that isn't the most exciting thing for you, but it doesn't have to be evil versus good. It doesn't have to be like people who will kill you versus people who love you. You can get to a world by getting to know yourself and choosing solidly with the universe, getting to know yourself, you expand and expand and expand. It's like going into a fractal, zoom in, it keeps growing. Or just a flower that keeps blossoming. The world becomes more and more of your world. So you don't have to have a world of good and evil anymore. You can have a world of good and better, or better and best. Your way is good for me. Your way is good for you. My way is even better for me. What I did yesterday was good for me. What I do today is even better for me. You're a dentist. I tried being a dentist. I didn't care for it. I tried being a park ranger. That was really good for me. We have different careers. We wouldn't do each other's stuff. We can make mistakes. So the negative in the future, a future world, there will always be half of the world isn't right for you, but it doesn't have to be deadly. It can simply be like, oh yeah, that's not really to my liking. That's not my cup of tea. You can have a world that's so wonderful and supportive, where people make mistakes of trying things that weren't right for them. You catch the mistake early. Everybody is support, and you can thrive. And that's the world you're headed to. If you let this really deeply negative side of Earth go, let it go, expand the positive side. So this is where we get into the value separation exercise. It's a separate video, a separate talk. But there are ways for you to tap into your emotions, to let your human self needs to let you know, this is right for me and this is not right for me. And you value that and you respect it, and you get back to your beliefs and your values and your choices. You become a more principled person. You choose what's right for you in a positive, judging way. You let live, let other people go. And the universe, you will be tapping into the universe, and you will become more of your own higher self. You will become more and more of the higher being that you are, who is guiding you. And you will realize that life can be happy ever after. It's the way it was meant to be, that Earth was just one of the worlds that went deep into negativity, let this negative side keep expanding until it got really scary, really dangerous. But the flip side is, hey, it makes it really big and obvious, screaming obvious, big neon lights. I'm not that, I'm this. When you master the ability to say, no, I'm not that, and let it go, I must be this, and choose things, you will choose more deeply, more consciously. There's a huge springboard effect. There's a huge trampoline effect. So that, yeah, about half the world, maybe more, wants to go to hell, creating a hell, follow Lucifer down into a hell. The dictators, the antichrists, yeah, they're around. It doesn't have to be so dramatic, it's just obvious. And then there are people who, like you, want to choose a heaven. Just choose yourself. You want to be the chosen one? Choose yourself. So that's the big idea here, the briefing on anxiety and panic and why it's so important today. You're going to master fear. Anxiety and panic won't own you anymore. You're going to realize more and more your own positive values, your own positive beliefs. Let that expand. Connect more with your source, with your higher self, and you're going to be golden forever. Have a wonderful eternity.